Oh, is that what
He
happened?
he said that he sees why Lena Waithe
He
cheated.
just congratulated a woman.
And then you
Hey man, but I won't forgive her for what she did to Boomerang. I stand by
That
that.
is.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
terrible.
Oh yeah, the whole Me
That was
Too.
bad.
Let's get into this week's episode. I'm gonna let this week is. I'm proud to say Felix is the one who came up with this episode. So let's give it Felix.
Don't clap for yourself.
So I'm gonna let.
He said,
Right for me.
Yeah. So I would like Felix with his new hairdo to introduce this week's topic.
All right, so what we're talking about today is Black cinema and the renaissance that we're having right now in the last 6 years. We're seeing more Black movies get acknowledged. We're seeing more lanes for Black movies. We're seeing actors get celebrated more. We see an entire studio in Atlanta by Tyler Perry be created. It's trickling down to the silver screen with Donald Glover, Issa Rae, and right now we're just in the middle of of a huge lane opening up for Black cinema. And I just want to talk to you guys about how it affects you and the differences between when you were young and seeing Black films to now, and where you think it's going.
Yeah.
Who you think needs praise. And let's get into it because I think it needs to be acknowledged. I think it's super fire right now.
The great thing I love right now about Black cinema is that I feel like in the 90s and maybe like the 80s and even before that, I felt like we only had one chance to fuck up, and then that was our reputation was on the line for so long. It was like, well, we can't be too this way, or we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know when we're going to get another film like this. I think we are becoming so diverse at the moment that we are in such an eclectic place. I remember I used to not be able to stand Tyler Perry. Did I say it? Yeah, Tyler Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought inverted. But because he was the only representation for a long time, it's only his shows was on TV, and I was like, damn, this shit is some Alabama country coon shit. I was like, I didn't
Those
like
are the
it.
motherfuckers who was watching TBS.
Yes, and I will agree. But what I say now is that I'm not mad at that's a representation because I feel seen through media, through television, through movies. Now I feel like I'm able to see a story and be like, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
So it's way more diverse. We got a long way to go. Don't get me wrong. We ain't out the woods, but it's way more diverse than it used to be. So I can appreciate the diversity of art that's coming in.
you don't think we out the woods?
No,
I think we are.
We not.
I don't think we out the woods. We won
I think
love and hip hop away from just tiptoeing back. But
We not out the woods.
we not out the woods, but we seeing the light. Definitely.
Yeah, we seen the light. We not out the woods.
I don't think we out the
There's-
woods.
I
Okay,
think that has
so-
a lot to do with Black filmmakers taking control of the narrative too. Because for a while, there was a lot of white writers and producers and
Definitely.
directors telling Black stories.
Still is.
Yeah,
Still is.
absolutely.
There's a very small percentage
But I
of
think
of Black directors and writers.
Mhm.
But I think
And
the
so-
glimmer of light, that because you think about a
Yeah.
film like Moonlight or something like that, where it's a different portrayal of
Completely.
a Black man boy turning into a
Completely.
man's story. That's 100% Barry Jenkins and the people that he chose to drive that project with him.
So the reason why I say that I think we out the woods is because Black Panther felt like an arrival moment. When Black Panther, what Black Panther did when it crossed that first billion, I feel like it shined new eyes on us in a different way, and it gave us, it opened up a lot of opportunity for us. I think right now we taking it and we running with it, like what Issa Rae is doing, and Issa Rae is kind of turning into she has this whole lane of rom-coms now that she's doing.
She's
then
the
you
Black
got-
Jennifer Aniston.
And I fucking love
I
it.
fuck with that.
She
I
just
fuck
signed a
with that.
publishing deal too, because she knows she's writing mad shit for Insecure and God knows what else she has up her sleeve. That's genius.
Yeah,
I don't
Like
watch
she was
Friends,
like, "Oh, I
so
am gonna
didn't-
wite these songs and fucking take the."
it's a person.
publishing.
No, I know.
Jennifer
I-
You never wait a second. So I
don't
get
watch-
no.
I don't watch
Well,
Friends.
no, I didn't watch Friends either, but
The
I
Breakup's
watched
great.
rom-com. So you never watched The Breakup?
It's amazing.
Oh, that is an amazing movie.
Yeah,
It
he
ended
referenced a
wild
person,
dope.
not a character.
Yeah,
He's
but
I didn't watch Friends.
I didn't watch Friends.
I didn't watch Friends either. I don't fuck with
Yeah,
Friends.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying, I know who Jennifer Aniston
I
is.
did The Breakup and Horrible Bosses.
Mhm.
Yeah, all right
And
then.
she,
Man,
she
in,
has-
the, in the early 90s, she had a
She
She
string
don't
of
really
rom-coms.
have that many
Yeah.
misses, honestly, as far as movies.
Yeah. Okay,
You know.
so
But
The
we're
morning
not
show
going
is
to talk
fire
about
too,
her.
but we're not talking about white people right now.
We're talking about
I
white
heard
people.
that. I heard
right?
that.
See, they always sneaking back in. Oh, ask away, Miss Sinead Curry.
As I eat
She's eating.
my late breakfast. Do y'all consider Black Panther a black movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying because of
The cast, literally the cast.
the cast? Are you
the
saying
crew.
the product, like who was produced by?
No, I'm just saying like the same way that you would consider like
It's a Marvel movie.
Paid in Full or
I
like
see what you're saying.
Belly, like
Yes.
Black-
because you just brought it up and said like
It's changing.
the way
Yes,
how
because it's
it
changing.
sold so much, but it didn't sell so much because it was a black movie. It sold so much
But
because it's a Marvel.
But that's the
But
beauty
no.
of it. So
movie.
now with
Both,
film,
but first
yeah.
it's
So
Marvel.
that's the beauty of it. So now in films that some people would deem, excuse me, sorry about that. That the movies that some people would deem just solely black, like a black story or whatever like that. Now movies with that they're just telling stories and they happen to be black.
Right.
So that's why
Right.
it's still a black film, but it's just that they just so happen to be black. Like Black Panther easily could have fucking been Superman. Like you know what I'm saying? Like like obviously they don't have the same powers, nerdy
But
shit.
that's-
That's
The
nerd stuff.
character
But I'm
was
just saying
always
like
black, though.
no, I
So
get it that he
here's
was
something I
always
wanna
black,
bring
but
up.
I'm just saying
But it was-
it could have
it was-
been they could have Marvel could have chose to put all that money behind another white Marvel character and made lots of money because there's other Marvel characters.
But the way they
with
did
stories.
it was really great.
It was-
I want to bring
No, it
this
was,
up
but I'm just
the
saying
thing
that
inspired
it was
Felix
good.
to have us have this conversation was the documentary on Netflix. They Gotta Have Us. And
Yeah.
in They Gotta Have Us. They talk about Black Panther, and Black Panther was they tried to make that movie a lot of times for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And
Wesley-
we got
Wesley
lucky.
Snipes
And what
had
they
it first.
talk about
And John Singleton tried to fuck it up.
Right.
I love John
Let me
Singleton,
get
but
this
his
out.
version was gonna be shit.
So wait, so that's the thing. So
Shit.
what we ended up getting is Ryan Coogler's version of the story years later. And what they talk about in the documentary that I think is really important is that he was able to paint Wakanda, for example, in this light where it's like this is an advanced society. This
Yes.
is a technology, the way that they live, the way that they praise their women, all of it.
Yeah, that's how it was in the comic book.
But
Yeah.
because and the reason that a lot of people say that Wakanda is so influential and that it was able to be made in that light with him being able to expand his mind and imagination to make all of that happen and look the way that it did is because of all the films that came before him to pave the way to give him that little bit of light that he could
Mhm.
shine.
Mhm.
Because
Agreed.
if Singleton or somebody else had made this movie, let's say 10, 15, 20 years
It had
ago,
Bloods and Crips on
it would have had
cover.
a it would have had a whole
that's
different
legit what the fuck
narrative.
he wanted.
Yeah,
But
I'm alright.
exactly.
He wanted to be about the Black Panthers.
So
Wow.
so in Reg's defense, I
I'm
do think
good.
that it did shake up the way that you see a black superhero. He wasn't just saving the hood; he was doing a lot of other things too.
Yeah, he wasn't even in the hood.
And
He
it was just a whole
married.
different wave of like, and this isn't the first time. Obviously, we've been fighting for this representation for a while, and like
Definitely.
I feel like with Black Panther, like I said, that's what made it feel so big. But then you go back and you see when what the documentary sheds light on too was Spike Lee. Spike Lee's whole
Absolutely.
struggle and his whole run of like what he was trying to do. Robert
Mhm.
Townsend. What the documentary didn't have, Reginald Hudlin. What he
yes.
did with House Party with Bebe's Kids and like everything that he
Right.
did around that time. Boomerang, Boomerang, taking a movie like Boomerang, for example, where it's an all black cast, but you never watch it feeling like, oh, you're watching black people. They're just
Right.
Yeah,
people.
that's what I was just
That
saying
was
about
the beauty
Black
of it.
Panther, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that's the beauty of
Right.
it. It's just people, and they have like these these corporate jobs, and it's never mentioned that they're black. You
Right.
know,
Which is fire.
it's normalizing. Yeah, it's just normalizing our experience.
And that's the
You know?
I think that's the dope thing about where we kind of are now because we can now choose to have stories like that.
Mhm.
We can choose to be black as hell. We can be like The Photograph, which is a movie with black people, but you know you can put anybody in those kind of
It's
experiences.
a love story,
It's
and
a
they
love
happen
story,
to be black.
and they happen to be black. So we can get so much. We can like run the gauntlet in terms of diversity at a moment. Like there would never be in the '90s a show like Pose, right? We're showing
Yeah.
black trans community
That show's
in,
fire.
in a way that's not stereotypical or derogatory. You never have that.
Mhm.
But the fact that we are here now shows that yes, we got a long way to go, but like it's I like the space we're in.
I personally think this is opening the floodgates.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like right now there's all these perspectives, but there's also people are running out of white stories. So like the
Yeah.
white narrative is just recycling a lot of the old stuff that they've done, and there's just this the need to hear something new, to hear something different in cinema. and I feel like the Academy, even, which is not something you go by all the time, but to me, it's not the most important thing. But the fact that they're realizing it so fast right now, and the inspiration that we're getting so quickly in turnaround, just like Candyman director,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's spiraling. It's
Mhm.
getting bigger and bigger. And I even think like because a lot of people, I know people separate Spanish and Black people, but there's Black people in Spanish communities,
Latinos.
Latinos.
I'm not from Spain.
Okay, cool. Latinos.
That's
Right.
a
I'm
good
just
point. That's a
not.
very
Right.
good point.
So
That's a very good point.
There's darker Latinos, but you have shows like
Mhm.
Netflix now that has darker Mexicans in it rather than white
Mhm.
Mexicans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this thing is becoming so big
Mm-hmm.
that I feel like there's these lanes that are constantly being created year by year.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to tell me like, what are you most excited for? Like, what narratives are you most excited for?
I mean, it still hasn't been, other than Black Panther, which I still don't really consider a sci-fi because it's a Marvel movie. So it's not technically a sci-fi movie just because it's in a Marvel universe. It's not just in the sci-fi universe. There hasn't been a Black sci-fi film, helmed by Black people. I almost feel like
I mean, that movie with Will Smith and Jaden that tanked.
After Earth.
After Earth.
My thing is,
I mean, there was
That
only
was-
2 people on there, right?
That was
I feel
M. Night
like
Shyamalan.
Will Smith does a lot of sci-fi, but he's the only person in the film.
Yeah, right. Will's like, I'm gonna be the only Black man on this planet.
That bag is that bag.
I
must be
almost
serious,
sometimes feel like at a
man.
disservice
True, though.
when I watch a film with majority of Black people because I almost feel like sometimes I have to make the question, I have to make a stand. Like she said, is this paid in full Black film or is this just a movie with Black people in it? I feel like at a disservice when I watch films necessarily with a groups of Black people because it's like I still feel the angst to say, like you said, are we out of the woods here or is this just a little? Am I just looking at the light right here?
Yeah.
I still don't think I've seen the full light, but I will say the actors are going to be at the helm of this because now they have diverse performances. Before you didn't really have diverse performances. Maybe with Blazing Saddles, going back to like Clavon Little or
That was a
Inkwell,
fire
that, that he did back in the day where it was like small art
Oh,
like
the
films.
Inkwell, I love
That's
it.
why
Yeah.
Thompson did Hollywood Shuffle to make
Exactly.
fun of
Yeah,
like where are the
yeah.
roles? We gotta
Exactly.
play all these roles.
But those roles were like drop in the bucket. I feel like now there's more roles. Lakeith is doing stuff, but you have guys from London doing stuff. So I feel like there's more roles now. But then I feel like where are all those roles going to lead to? Are they going to lead to people behind the camera, people behind the scripts? Like, is that what it's going to lead into?
I think that's eventually.
Yeah,
If
I
that,
hope so,
but
yeah.
I feel like if that's what the actors want, then they're gonna go for that.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming for that
Well,
because a lot of actors are beginning to start their own production studios. A lot of actors are getting the opportunity to direct, and there's just a lot of people that are like inquiring about things. Like take Lena Waithe for instance, right? I think Lena Waithe is the best example. I make a lot of fun of Lena Waithe, so I know people will be like, oh, but like I respect her what she's doing. So what she's doing is she's a gay woman, and she's a gay woman on the larger side. So she kind of looks more like the everyday person versus like some like skinny, like beautiful, long flowing hair, like prototypical woman. So she's not your ordinary female, right? A woman. Sorry, don't want to make anybody mad. But she is more inspiring, like what she's doing to me, because most people wouldn't give her an opportunity to give her a chance, right? Some people would say she's not easy on the eyes, but like she's that talented, she's that good that is like breaking through no matter what. Like, and people in Hollywood, they have to respect what she's doing and they have to give her a voice. When she wrote Queen and Slim, like she didn't think that she was gonna like get the response that she got, but there was a bidding war over her script for it, right? So I'm just like, all right, she's doing something, so that gives me hope that like, all right, cool. You know what? There might be a kid that is in a wheelchair, but he might be able to like become like the next great director or great screenwriter or something like that, and get that opportunity. And that just so happens to be Black as well.
But how do
So
you
that's
feel
what I'm saying
about-
about
What
that.
she did with The Shy was really fire
Yeah.
too, because that's very much just people living their lives in a community, intertwining lives, and
Right.
not everybody was. It wasn't like just about being like Chirac type of thing. Like it was like these are people in their community living their lives on Showtime.
How do you feel about her doing remakes? I feel like
That blows
remake
my mind.
is
I don't
like-
want anybody to
I'm
do
good.
remakes.
Yeah,
if we're being
like,
honest,
That
like, there's
blows
a
my
lot
mind,
of
and it's
stuff.
lazy.
This was
I'm
to remake
good.
Yeah.
New Jack City. I'm like, don't. I feel like you
It's
should
gonna
only
be a new-
remake
a new
movies that
Lena
were
Waithe.
bad. Yeah, they're supposed to remake that.
Is that
Issa
Lena
wants to
Waithe?
remake
No, I don't know if
Saturday,
it's
right?
Lena
No.
Waithe, but somebody's supposed to
I don't
remake
want
it.
nobody to do
Why she
nothing.
has to make a
Don't
bank
do
heist
nothing.
movie? Why she have to make another set of
Just redo bad movies. If a movie's good, leave it alone.
No,
If
I don't
it's
think
bad,
anything
you
should
can
be
redo
redone.
it.
I just
I
want
kind
more
of agree with
original
that.
shit.
I kind of agree with
So-
that.
I like that
I like
idea.
redoing
I have
bad
a question
movies.
I want
I
to
like
pose
that
to the
idea.
group.
Okay, what's the question?
Does anybody have any thoughts or feelings behind the fact that a lot of people feel like a lot of the Black British community has
I
come
was
into-
just you read my mind,
into
girl.
the
what?
Hollywood space
Oh,
in America and are taking a lot of films, especially a lot of namely
Tricking
historical
on
films
drugs.
like
Daniel,
the King,
Daniel
Harriet.
Kaluuya,
Idris
Elba.
Elba.
Oh, Yellow.
John Boyega.
No, but I'm not talking about regular roles too. I'm even talking about even the historical ones, like the fact
yeah.
that David Oyelowo played Martin Luther King and Selma, or how
Idris Elba played Nelson Mandela.
that's right.
Yeah.
But that's not
Played-
that's not an American figure though.
Right.
That's just
Okay.
an African person. So that's
Okay.
any black person should have kind of a right to play anything. But I'm asking like, do you guys? Because I don't even know
I mean, well, Forrest Whitaker played Forrest.
Any black person has the right
to play anything. But there's a lot of African Americans that feel like the African American experience is different from the Black British experience.
Well,
So
I'm
yeah,
Actors
so-
are liars.
But they're actors.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
okay,
a role.
that's why I
So-
brought it up
Yeah.
to ask the group.
No,
I-
not, no,
that's a
but
good
it's
question.
it's a popular outrage that I just never understood.
I'm gonna tell you the reason. So, most American actors feel that British actors that come, even the white British actors, right? They come to America and they get paid a little less, and then they're also upset because most studios love British actors because they speak properly and they're also taught
Trained.
and they're trained to speak in different accents when they go to acting classes. In America, it's just acting class, right? But overseas, like you're taught a Brooklyn accent, a Boston accent, a LA accent, like that. They literally have classes for that, right? So when they come and they ask you to, hey, I need you to like, and it's ridiculous. Like I've literally gone to an audition before, and they asked me to have a Brooklyn accent, and I didn't know how to fucking have a Brooklyn accent. I was like, I was like, yo, what the fuck is a Brooklyn accent? Like, I'm from New York. Like, they were like, no, but we specifically need you to be from Brooklyn. And in my head, I was like, what the
Man.
fuck do you know about Brooklyn? In my head, but they were looking at me like, well, obviously we know, but you don't, because we know what we're looking for.
Right.
But I guarantee you, when they say it to a British actor knows exactly how to do it and exactly how to make the dialect stick, and they're very good at throwing their voices. Like, people found out that Idris Elba wasn't American. They
Yeah.
fucking lost their shit.
Yeah.
Stringer Bell. And I just
Yeah.
think that, and that's where the animosity comes from. But for me, my thing is just that like I'm happy about it. Like I don't see a problem with it. But I do see how like some American actors might feel away. Like Samuel L. Jackson
I
really
was just
felt
gonna
the
say
way.
Felt
Samuel
the way.
Jackson.
Well, and that's because you got to think like, you know, Martin Luther King probably has like a different meaning to him than it did
Yes.
to Daniel.
Oh, Yellow.
Yeah.
I
His
don't
David
want to butcher his
Oyelowo.
name.
David
Well, I-
Oyelowo.
So
Yeah.
So my thing is that, you know, I'm not an actor, so I don't want to disrespect the craft or
Mhm.
anything like that. But I think anybody who, now not anybody like color wise, but if you're black, and I think if you dedicate yourself to the craft and you go out there and you transform, I can't be mad at somebody, whether you know, from England or Brazil. If you dedicated yourself and there was this figure that you were given to play and you transformed, I can't be mad at that. I loved Idris Elba as Stringer Bell.
Mm-hmm.
I love, like, he damn near he made that season. Him and Wood Harris
Mm-hmm.
and you know other people, but like they were great.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great asset to The Wire, whether he was English or not. He brought his A game, so I can't be mad if you know if they do it well. Now the thing is, I heard Cynthia Erivo was like, you know, she didn't get a lot of praise for taking the role of Harriet Tubman because of what I guess she had made some comments about African American actors, and a lot of people were upset with her. And which I get, but you can't tell me that woman can't turn it. She is water. She can be any fucking thing she wants. She can turn into, you know, Harriet Tubman or like a businesswoman or, you know, anything. She's a really tremendous actress. So I can't say that I'm not mad when I see her on, you know, I can't say that I'm mad when I see her on screen because I always know she's gonna deliver.
Mm-hmm.
Tenfold, like she was in Color Purple on Broadway.
Mhm.
She was incredible as Celie. Incredible. She's not a black Southern woman. Should, you know, I hope that black Southern women were considered, but if she got the role based off her merit and her work, who am I to judge?
I mean,
I
I
have
just.
opinion.
Oh, go ahead. What's up?
Mega. But so I agree. Like if you do it good, you do it good. You kill your role or whatever inspired. But my counter gets to where it's Jamaicans. We have people acting as Jamaicans who
That's
are American and they have terrible accents.
Yes.
Like the whole in Luke Cage, like
oh my
I
god.
couldn't even get through the rest of it. I'm just like, I'm not watching this.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing it.
So-
or Haitians.
Haitians as well.
Yeah.
Cause in
That
Sabrina,
one too.
here.
in Sabrina, they had a woman. I don't know what she was, but she wasn't Haitian.
Yeah.
So it's like it's disrespectful. So since now we hear that, so I understand why Black Americans would feel away.
Yes.
But I feel like if it's done well, I'd still be mad because that's how I feel about like certain Black Americans coming to play Carnival. It's
Well,
like
you
this-
know what? I got a good question. I have a good question, right? So let's hypothetically say Jennifer Lopez plays an Italian.
No,
She
but
does all the fucking
Yeah.
time.
Wait,
We
wait,
spoke
wait.
about this already.
It's
Wait.
weird. I don't like.
Don't get me hot.
I don't like that she always plays a white woman. Like
Yeah.
she's always white.
I wish you were here for that episode because I was getting a lot of shade for that, but it's the fucking
I
truth.
don't
But wait,
like-
but-
even with
Victorian.
Hispanics too.
but real quick, like I think you bring up a good point because you're talking about what if Jennifer Lopez plays a white woman. There's so much representation for white women that won't hurt. For the Caribbean community is what we said. What would I like to see? I would like to see more authentic Caribbean like stories.
Yeah.
And actors and
Yeah.
actresses come up because it's Caribbeans are where we were back in the day, where it was one role could determine your outlook on something forever. Because now, like all we know from Haitians
You're right.
is Bad Boys 2, and we know
Mhm.
the devil does not look. And I know Haitians don't talk like that, but that was the big mainstream thing to say this is Haiti because what Hollywood does is lump all Caribbeans together.
They do.
All Caribbeans are Jamaican.
Yeah.
All Caribbeans are
And
Jamaican.
then even so,
Deadass.
also in turn, on the flip side,
Yeah.
why can't I remember her name right now? But the girl who plays Shuri. in
Yeah.
Black
Yeah,
Panther, she's
mhm, yeah.
Guyanese,
Mhm.
but it was living. She's somewhere from like England. or-
Yeah.
she's British.
But then you're playing an African or what?
Yeah.
kind of-
See,
She played
and
an East
that's-
African.
Yeah.
So then that's where my whole thing comes
Right.
in because
Yeah.
like when I watch and I'm looking for and I had this conversation with someone recently where like I watch things and it's not like I don't necessarily look for the representation and shit. I get lost and I get entertained.
Mhm.
But with something like Black Panther and I'm African and I'm watching it and I'm watching
Yes.
all these known Americans
Yes.
with these African accents,
Mm.
I reel myself back in because I'm just like, well, I mean, it's a Marvel movie, whatever,
Yeah, and then I'm like,
right?
it's fictional, so you
Exactly,
can't really say
Right.
exactly.
much
I'm
on
not
the
mad,
side.
and then at the same time, you're bringing new eyes to the culture with these big names.
Yes.
So I'm not mad at it, but I'm mad at the after effect when you interact with people that are like outside of that, like
Tell the story,
people.
Reg.
Exactly.
That
Tell the
fucking
story, Reg.
man. So I have a
Tell
white,
Tell
like
why you mad.
white coworkers coming up to me at work trying to shake my hand and do this shit.
But you
And
see,
and it's like I know you don't mean nothing by it, but this
that's
is
that's
like
all. That's
and
all
then-
you know.
yeah. Now I gotta pull you to the side
And
and
be
just
like,
talk
you
and
know,
talk and
Wakanda's
be like,
not
yo,
real.
But
you know it's not
Yeah.
real,
What
Right.
you're
right?
saying is why
So
they're
it-
doing that. You said you got a white coworker that comes to you and says Wakanda.
Mhm.
If I'm a studio head and I'm thinking, yeah, this is a black film, but I know the black people are gonna go see it. I need to get the white people to go see it too. I think sometimes that they say, you know what, if I cast a British actor to play this black American role, it's one step removed from that angst. So the white people who go watch it will pay for it because they go, well, he's a British actor. He
You
knows
think
what he's
so?
doing. I feel like sometimes there's a stench of that. I feel like the studio goes, it's a British actor. He's trained, like you said, and he may be. And he
Yeah.
just may be
More
the best guy for the
polished.
job. But
And they
it's-
love it when they talking to Oprah and they hear that British. They're like, oh my
Exactly.
God. Did
And
you
it
hear him
sends us-
talk?
it's a
The press
safety-
run, the press
it's
run
a
and everything,
safety
yeah.
beacon
Yeah.
to society who's not
prestige.
qualm to go see a black film. They're gonna go, you know what?
But
this is
that's
a black
why
film.
I think it's a floodgate.
Yeah,
because-
now, yeah, exactly.
Because what you have is like, let's say Torian's an American actor, but he has an African friend and a Jamaican friend. So
Mhm.
these people who are moving up are in the rooms that are deciding
Exactly, like I said, the
who are
opportunities,
playing these
yeah.
people.
Right.
Mhm.
So exponentially, I feel like in the next 5 years, you're just gonna have more lanes created,
Exactly.
Yeah.
more authenticity.
Because
in
Fantasia
acting.
was great in Color Purple, and she could have very much so played Harriet Tubman and killed it. I think she's talented enough to
Yeah.
do that. But you say that, but
Hold on.
is she gonna
Wait,
get
for
that
Harry
look?
Tubman?
I gotta see
Is she
the
gonna
footage.
get that look? Is she gonna get the opportunity to practice for 6 months, 8 months to become Harriet Tubman?
Should have killed it.
And people in the South would have loved it, but would white America went and seen
Disrespectful.
Fantasia? They wouldn't see. They wouldn't see.
Well, Lisa
Oh, right.
Alisa was the Scarlett Johansson. All right, listen.
That's very true.
Julia
I have-
Roberts.
I have-
Julia Roberts.
Yeah, but I make because Scarlett.
I'd have
You know,
paid-
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying, but now Julia Roberts really was up for that part.
I have something
That's
to
why
add
I
to
was
what
And
you were saying about the.
so say this,
Caribbean.
and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay, one thing I'd like to see with this opening a floodgate and hopefully offering opportunities to lots of different things too. We're talking about the Caribbean. I'm Dominican, and I know that across the Caribbean or across the world, there's a black diaspora that isn't just African Americans and it isn't just British African. There's black everywhere. There's black in Brazil, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Puerto Rico, everywhere. So I would actually like to see a lot more Afro Latinos being represented in stories that are about Latinos. Like Julissa Calderon, who's Dominican and is on Gentefied, talks about how she will go to auditions and she looks black, so she speaks for a black role, and they're like, "What's that accent?" Because you have a Latina accent, and then they wouldn't take her for the Latina roles because they see
Yeah.
Latinas as a Jennifer Lopez or somebody's like a blonde, blue eyes.
Spider-Man is Afro-Latino.
Or somebody like a Selma Hayek or whatever the case is. So
What
the
about
way that we
yeah,
had the
into the
Spider-Man
Spideyverse.
film, yeah, he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, he's mixed. Yeah. and
So
then-
we had a
oh,
cartoon, which is
oh, I'm like,
amazing,
okay,
and I
I'm
love
like,
that
okay.
representation. I would like to see that on
He was
film.
brown. Like I just love that he was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
yeah.
a brown boy, and he would break into Spanish and English, and like.
I love
Well,
It
that.
no,
was
Miles
very
Morales is mixed. He's
representational.
half black. He's half
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
half Latino.
So
But we-
I want to see that on film. I want
we
to
are
see more men
reaching-
and women that are Afro Latino get that opportunity.
We're reaching that point all across the board, and I mean, just to wrap it up, I mean, we saw it in shit like, I don't know, Master of None stood out to me
I love that
um,
show.
because Master of None had a really powerful episode where they revealed something that I didn't even know at the time about Short Circuit, about the main character
Mhm.
being actually
Yeah.
white, but he was playing Indian.
Yeah.
My dad was
And
And like,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
so like, so
My
it's
dad's like,
like
you know, he's really.
the barriers. So the barriers that we're breaking all across the board is just something that, I mean, I'm in tune for, man, all across. Not even just black people, you know.
Definitely.
I'm in tune to see, like, you know, Crazy Rich Asians, like,
That was dope to see.
yeah, like, oh, huh?
Parasite. So good.
Parasite I haven't
Parasite.
seen yet. I gotta see Parasite.
Oak Job,
Parasite.
You know what was a good one? The Farewell, because it had a lot. It was based
Oh,
in
yeah,
China,
what
but
was
they
it?
break
Yeah,
into
yeah.
English,
I
and
wanna
it's
see
very
that.
much
That
about
was
her
really
being a
good.
first generation American kid. Like that's representation too.
Yeah.
And then you got the movie that's coming with Issa Rae and the Indian guy.
Kumali.
Yeah.
forgot-
Oh
I love
yeah,
that.
it
That's
was
my-
bad
I
funny.
definitely wanna see that.
Yeah.
That was
Alright.
bad funny.
Well, guys,
This was good.
this was a good conversation,
good.
wasn't it?
Thanks, Felix.
Thank you for catching up with Felix. This is a good, healthy conversation, and we talked about black people.
All right, let's write it.
That's great. People, POC.
Right now.
Let's write a movie. All right, so I'm Torian B,
I'm First Class Reg.
and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.